Hola amigos, this is level 12 and today we are going to be finding out about all the females in Hetalia. Now I did try to go in some semblance of order. I started with Europe, moved on to Asia, then Africa, then Australia. North America and South America currently have no female characters, and I don't think South America has any character to its name, but that is neither here nor there. Also, I know there are some female characters that probably did not get put in this list, such as Kenya and a mysterious girl that was seen with Seychelles as stated by Hetafax. These characters have not been officially canonized, and on the websites that I use, they had little to no information about them. And when I tried to research them, like just freehand, nothing about them appeared, so they will not be on this list. Please forgive me, but I tried to put characters that had some information about them and that had appeared in the manga / comic / anime with some good backstory on them and enough personality that I could talk about them. So without further ado, let's begin. First off is my waifu Liechtenstein. Her human name has fans like to call her Lily as part of her national flower and a short version of her name. However, Hema has suggested Erica, Cyssia, or Eva, don't know how to pronounce the German way. She's about 12 to 14, and this is most likely because she relies very heavily on Switzerland. Her birthday is July 12th. She's related to Switzerland as his younger sister, and her currency is the Swiss franc, or franc. I feel like she does very heavily rely on Switzerland, which is why her age is so low, and which is why they share the same currency, even though they're very different. Well, I assume they're very different countries. And as you can see over here, this is the Liechtenstein flag. I don't know what you call things or people from Liechtenstein, and I thought it was really cute how she had a flag and how her immigration stamp. How she had a crown, and her immigration stamp is also a crown. Liechtenstein is a very bubbly character, and she's very sweet and very kind, and while she has shown to not have many friends, it is stated by Hema that she's a very sociable person, which I wish that was shown more in the anime and manga, but she's always shown with Switzerland who's such a hermit. And I have someone later on the list where I will have more about Liechtenstein, but I would prefer to get to that person more before I have this really cool moment of Liechtenstein in my head. Next is the Ukraine. Some human names that Hema has suggested for her, are Irunia, Maria, and Sofia. She's about 22 to 24 years old. Her birthday is August 24th, and she's the older sister to both Russia and Belarus. Her currency is called the Ukrainian... Sorry if I butcher this, which I totally am. It's the Hryvnia. I'm assuming that's how you pronounce it. And Ukraine is a very motherly, but also very, in my opinion, slightly dim-witted character. She tries very hard to be a nice person to both Russia and Belarus, but kind of ends up failing. I guess dim-witted isn't the best word, but just kind of not all there. Like, she has bad internet, and she has terrible farms, and she's trying to break away from Russia, which isn't doing her very much good. And I feel really bad for her because she's really a sweet character. She's just really nice, and I feel like, again, when I said in my Undertale video, I feel like if she was ever around a kid, she'd be that really motherly figure. And also down here is her flag, which I was looking this when I did the first half of this list, because it took me 3 days to make this list because I was working. Okay, that may sound like a long time, but all the stuff I had to look up, y'all will understand why it took me 3 days. I was looking hers up at like 10 o'clock at night, and her flag is so bright. It's just a very bright blue and a very bright yellow, and it just assaulted my eyes. Gosh. Next we have Belarus. Her human name, as stated by Hema, is Natalia / Natasha. Oh god. Arlovaskya. Yep. And her age has been confirmed to be 19. Her birthday is the 25th of August, and her relationship is sister to Russia and Ukraine. Her currency is the Belarusian ruble, and I would like to comment on her flag very quickly. I love this little pattern down here on the side. I don't know... Oh, crap. I don't know what it means, as I only just looked up a picture of the flag, but that's that's such a pretty design on the edge of the flag. It's so intricate and so beautiful. Kind of like Belarus herself. But anyways, Belarus herself, while she is... Yeah, I'll give her that. She's kind of cute and pretty. But she's very psychotic. One thing that... And, this will be mentioned in a later video. But at first I really disliked Belarus's character because all she did was try to go after Russia. Which, I mean, that in itself is nothing bad, but when it's all you ever see this character do is act like a crazy yandere, it gets old very quickly. But then as I started rewatching Hetalia and looking her up, I kind of started to feel for her as, I don't know, I guess she's kind of lonely and Russia's the only one that kind of wants, that will even remotely be around her. Probably not at this point, but you know, just, I feel like Belarus, if she toned down her crazy love whatever, she would make a really sweet and cool character. Calm down, Belarus. Next is Hungary, and oh my gosh, Elizabeta Hetalia. Yep, a Hungarian, 10 out of 10. She's in her 20s, and I have an asterisk by her birthday. It says June 8th, but that is the day, she and Austria married. So technically this is not when Hungary was born, but more when she was married to Austria, which I guess I should have put the day they quote-unquote divorced, because that would mean Hungary was her own country then, but whatever. Her relationship is, as stated, once married to Austria, and she is a formal rival of Prussia. Her currency is the Hungary forint. I'm pretty sure that's how you pronounce that. And her flag, I used to get it mixed up with the Italian flag so much, but I figured out which way the stripes went. We're good. We're focused. We're grand. Anyways, I loved Hungary. She's a Fujoshi, and if you don't know what that means, she likes yaoi, which I'm all for that. Also, she is a very powerful female character, and I love how she was just this really cool character that would beat up dudes with a frying pan. One thing, however, when I first watched the anime, I think it was the second season, it was when her and Lithuania were together, and Lithuania was complaining that someone was kicking his butt, and it turned out to be Prussia. And I could not tell the difference between Lithuania and Hungary because they both had brown hair and they both had it like up in ponytails or whatever. And also I was watching the dubbed version because the subbed version wasn't working for me. It was just so bad. I hated it so much. Never watched the dubbed of Hetalia. It's not that good. Also, I liked how she was a very tomboyish character until she realized she was a girl. I loved, as much as I cringed at that episode, I loved it so much. I loved just Prussia being the gentleman and not ripping the cloth from his crotch and instead giving her his cape, and I thought that was just adorable. Next we have Belgium, and her human name suggestions by Hema are Laura, Emma, Henri, and Manon. Or Manon, I don't know. Her apparent age, she's about in her 20s, and her birthday, I was very confused on not Belarus's birthday, but Belgium's birthday, because it didn't have something on the Hetalia archive, so I typed in what is Belgium's birthday, and it sent me to the Hetalia wiki fandom, which I don't trust that site as much because I feel like it's more tampered with by people that don't know Hetalia as well as they probably think they do. And it just had April 19th without an explanation as to why or any reference source to where Hema had stated that. And then I just looked up Belgium's Independence Day, or when they celebrate a holiday like the 4th of July for us. And it said October 4th, so take that as you will. Her relationships, she is the younger sister to the Netherlands and older sister to Luxembourg. And her currency is the euro. Now, about her flag. I used to get her flag and the German flag also mixed up very often, but I also realized how the stripes went, and my mind is good and great. Belgium, I'm sad to say that she is a very bland character for me. I do feel like she tries very hard to be a good little sister to Netherlands and try to show them that spending money isn't that bad of an idea, because For people like me who don't like to spend money, it can be very hard to get out of that mindset of spending money. But also, the most I know about her is she's very bubbly and she has a cat mouth most of the time, and she likes waffles. That's it. I feel like her and Canada get along swell because of that fact. Next is Monaco. Her human name, Hema has not even given some suggestions for her human name. Her apparent age, it is stated that she is not allowed to go into her own casinos, even though she's a rather good gambler, unlike me, who I can't gamble at all. I suck at poker. I can count cards, though. So I looked up how old you have to be to go into a casino in Monaco, and it said if you are under 18, you are not allowed in under any circumstances. So that leads me to believe she's about 16 to 17, but definitely not 18. She was born on January 8th, and her relationship, she's very close with France, and a possible love interest of Saborga, because they went on a date together, which I find that really cute, even though he's the player type. And her currency is also the euro. Now, this is the most common flag design that I've seen. When I looked up the Monaco flag, it gave me a picture of this flag, but then a few pictures below there was a meme of this flag and the Indonesian flag. This flag is longer than the Indonesian flag. However, they share the exact same color scheme and proportion sizes. When I used to play flag games, which I still do, I used to get the Indonesian flag and the Poland flag mixed up so many times because the Indonesian flag and the Poland flag, while they are the same colors, the Poland flag's ratio of red to white is a little bit bigger, well, a little bit more red than there is white, and it's about 50-50 for the Indonesian flag, and that annoyed the crap out of me. I hated it so much. But anyways, Monaco herself has been said to speak like an old man, and she's rather serious but also very clever and kind, and I feel like she's just this brainiac type of character, which I really like that. I also really like her design. I like her having the side braid, and I love her little coat that she has. Her design is very pleasing to the eye. Next is the Czech Republic. Her human name is undetermined, her apparent age is 18 to 19, and her birthday is January 1st. Now, that is when Czechoslovakia broke up and became the Czech Republic and Slovakia. And one thing Hema was thinking about doing was making Czechoslovakia one character as it was before 1993. However, that would have been a terrible mistake because that would be like making Austria and Hungary one character because they were once Austria-Hungary. Even though technically their name was hyphenated, which is what the Czech Republic and Slovakia used to argue about a lot, was Czechia did not put the hyphen in their name, and it made Slovakia think that Czechia, even though I'm pretty sure this is very much true because she seems like she has the big boy pants on, is thinking that Czechia called the shots, which, again, I'm pretty sure that she did because she is a very haughty and mighty character from what I read about her. And her currency is the Czech koruna, and her flag reminds me of a South American flag and also the Filipino flag just without the sun and the stars. Now, again, I don't know that much about Czechia, as she is a character who appeared in the very, very, very late series of the mangas and the comics, and has not even made her way into the anime yet, which I don't think she is, because I don't think there's a new season coming out, which makes me sad. But anyways, one thing that I do know about her is that she and Slovakia owe Liechtenstein money, apparently, because when Czech Republic and Slovakia were celebrating Slovakia getting his name capitalized after Soviet rule, Liechtenstein came up to them, and I can imagine her in a very un-Liechtenstein-like way, come up to them very stoic-like and say, "Are y'all gonna pay me back my money yet?" And just, Czechia has stated she internally flinched at that, and I'm pretty sure Slovakia did too, because the poor guy, he needs some work done with him. Next is Taiwan, and some human name suggestions for our forgive me for butchering this, but Lin Yi Ming or Zhao Mei. Her apparent age is about 15 to 17. Her birthday is October 25th. Her relationships, now this is a very political statement. Technically she is part of China, though she likes Japan more. I tried to do as much research as I could on the Taiwan-China situation. I remember early, I think it was in January or February, Trump had contacted Taiwan without notifying China, and China got on his butt about it because technically Taiwan was part of China. I don't know if it's more of a political thing or if this is a true thing, but it says in an old Chinese declaration or whatever that Taiwan belongs to them. However, Taiwan has its own currency, its own flag. They speak Mandarin, but a lot of people over there in that part of the world do. And so I was a little hesitant about how I put the relationship there. I kind of see this as the Crimea situation between Russia and the Ukraine. If I'm not trying to be political here, but it's just even Hema states that she's part of the Republic of China, so that's what I'm going with. Also, as I say before, her currency is the new Taiwan dollar, and her flag has a sun on it, and it's red, and it's blue, and it's very pretty. Now, Taiwan's character in general is just a very pretty character. A lot of Hema's Asian characters are very well drawn and very beautiful, and their traditional clothing makes me love them so much. I love the next character we're about to get to. She is probably somehow boosted up on my favorite character list, even though I know, like, nothing about her. Anyways, Taiwan is a very bubbly girl, and she loves cute things. When she confuses Vietnam, because when she and Vietnam take a picture together, their eyes enlarge, and Vietnam thought it was weird, while Taiwan called it cute. She loves Japan's kawaii culture, and she also doesn't like China very much. When China took her over from Japan, I'm pretty sure Taiwan wished she could have stayed with Japan. And now we have this character that when I was doing another video, I saw her and I thought, oh my god, she is gorgeous. Which I will get to that. Vietnam, her human name is Undetermined. She's about in her late teens. Her birthday is September 2nd, which is when 1945 is when Vietnam separated from France. And, you know, later the Vietnam War happened with communism, but whatever. None of her relationships have been particularly canicalized, as I'm pretty sure that word is pronounced. However, she has been hanging out with Thailand, who she asked to teach her to smile, which didn't work because she apparently doesn't know how to smile, and as stated before, she's kind of friends with Taiwan. Her currency is the Vietnamese dong, and her flag, I like her flag. It has a nice little star on it. And she's very, very beautiful. I love how her character is drawn. But she is also a true stoic character. And by that I mean she is 100% stoic. She doesn't have a spectrum, so to say. She doesn't go off and, like Belarus, you could say, is stoic, but we see these moments where she goes crazy for Russia, and you could say why is very stoic, but we do see these moments where she acts childish and huffy. Vietnam has either not have a chance to act like that or will never act like that, and I love that about her character. I love how there can be just a calm, cool, collected female character in this show, because this show is all about comedy and stuff, and I love how she can just be this completely blank face. That's so refreshing in Hetalia. I was about to cry there for a second. Anyways, so Seychelles is a little special case, as you can see. I have more pictures for her. But anyway, Seychelles. Her human name is Undetermined. She's about in her 20s. Her birthday is June 29th, and she was once a colony of both England and France. And her currency is the Seychelles rupee. I love her flag because it looked like someone just put what is it, a triangular prism up to the sky, and that's how they drew her flag. That is what I think about it when I see her flag. And Seychelles is a very bubbly, kind of dim-witted girl, because when England tells her William and Kate were coming over to spend their honeymoon, Seychelles goes and blabs about it everywhere. However, I think she can also be shy, because when we first see her, she's looking at the Axis and Allied powers and being like, why are they on my island? And something I would like to point out about Seychelles is her design. I love, one of Hema's original designs was for her to have a normal eyebrow and an eyebrow more like England's, and I thought that design was really clever and cute. However, France influenced Trump's English influence, so obviously her eyebrows couldn't be two different things, but I thought that was a really cute design. Now, little anecdote real quick in the middle of the video. A few months ago, way back in, what was it, March, April, some month where it was cold yet also spring, I went to a competition with my academic challenge team, and I was on the buzzer round. This lady asked a question: where are these island nations? In what ocean are these island nations located? She was naming off islands, and I was like, that has to be in near Africa. I forget what ocean is there now, but whatever. I don't need to know that now. And I was hoping for her to say Seychelles, because I know where that's located. Well, I don't know exactly, but I know the general area. I'm like, please say that island. She said it, but the way she pronounced it, and I didn't like this lady to begin with. She almost made me had a panic attack on another question. See, she said Seychelles. Seychelles. And I wanted to correct her so bad, but I didn't want to get points taken off. My history teacher, who was also our coach, would have killed me, and also I was trying not to freak out because we were like 10 points behind. But I got that point for us, even though they still kicked our butts. Next, we have ancient Egypt. I feel like her human name is undetermined. She's about in her late 20s because she did have Egypt. I feel like her birthday can't be determined because I don't think you can fully determine from when ancient Egypt happened and then when just plain old Egypt happened. However, one would argue when Rome invaded Egypt, that's when ancient Egypt ended, or when Christ was born. Whatever. She is the mother to the rather mysterious Egypt, and her currency, there wasn't an official name, but it said that she would use silver and gold coins, which I can very much believe that, because nowadays paper money is useless unless you have gold in your national bank, which is why the American dollar is so low, because we have so much money and we don't have enough gold to back it up, which makes our money useless. Anyways, so there wasn't much about Egypt other than I feel like she was a very calm and collected person, and I feel like she was a very good mother to Egypt. And also, ancient Rome kind of hit on her, but I don't think she did much with him. And she was seen talking with America when this makes me to believe that she isn't dead, she's just somewhere. That she was talking to America, and she explained to him how, ancient pharaohs and stuff did not very much wear all the heavy gold and stuff, as it was very hot in Egypt, which I think they obviously had to wear them at one point or else there wouldn't be that rumors, but I know that, like you don't go out in the frickin' hot sun in, like, pounds of gold. That would kill you instantly. And finally, we have Y. Her human name is undetermined. She's about 10 to 12 years old. Her birthday is the 15th of November. Her relationships, she was once part of Australia, and she's a friend of Sealand. Somewhere it said that Australia was her big brother, or that he wanted her to call him Big Brother. I couldn't find that again in my research, so I just said that she was once part of Australia because he would not let her have her driveway. And her currency, now, Y is a micronation, so technically she has, even if she had, like, paper money, as I said before, it wouldn't be worth anything. That's kind of like how the Confederate dollar was worth nothing when the South succeeded from the North, but that's a video for another time. So I put her as having the Australian dollar, even though in Malaysia, his currency is technically made out of Pillsbury cookie dough, and it's just coins stamped with something Malaysia-ness. And her flag, this was created by Prince Paul, and it's a dolphin with a crown and a blue background. Now, Prince Paul, I can't remember what came first, Y or the Prince Paul drawing of Y, which is, I don't have because it was very weird looking, but it also shows a little boy that some speculate to be Sealand, but Y herself is she tries to act mature, but she is, again, she's 10 to 12, so how mature can a 10 to 12-year-old act? I feel like she tries to act mature around Sealand because she technically is recognized, and I do feel like she holds that above his head multiple times. And Sealand is very sad because he's one of the very few micronations that isn't recognized by his home country, because even the Turkish Northern Republic of Cyprus, something Something like that. Even that little micronation is recognized by Cyprus. I don't think it's recognized by Turkey though. But we're arguing schematics here. Anyways, and I feel like she just holds it above his head and be like, I'm a real nation, because that's what she literally tells Sealand when they first meet. But she just goes along with his childish antics and can sometimes get wrapped up in them herself because, you know, she is a kid. And I thought that was really neat. Anyways, that is all the female characters in Hetalia. Now, I know Greece has a mom and she was killed by Turkey, but I couldn't find a picture for her and I couldn't find that much information about her, so she was not on this list. And I'm very sorry, but Greece does have a mother who was killed, sadly, by Turkey, and that might fuel some of Greece's rage there. But I hope you liked this video, and there are bloopers at the end, so stay tuned for those, because one of them is very, very stupid bloopers. Anyways, like and subscribe for more anime otaku related content. Ciao, chicos! Came over to them, and I can imagine her being all hot and mighty and saying in a rather stern, un-Liechtenstein voice, are you guys... Oh frick, that was my TV. God. Next, we have Egypt. Her human name is undetermined. I would say she's in her late 20s because she did give birth to Greece. I feel like her birthday can't be determined, or like can't be fully stated, because it's hard to tell when ancient Greece was ancient Greece. Oh